All right, welcome to another episode of the HeadHunters Northwest podcast. My guest today is Bill Yerby. He is currently the general manager at Meprolight, but a very interesting character that I feel like I got to know you, Bill, when my husband and we bought some Meprolight products for our firearms. And I don't know. I mean, we knew each other before, but I felt like I just have become more and more interested. And I thought it was important people could hear how you got into this industry because it's such a unique company with an amazing product that I do want to cover later in our discussion. But I think your background is very unusual, and there's not a lot of CEOs and general managers that have come into the industry via snow sports or fishing, let's say, or other areas. So can you just tell us a little bit about how you started in our industry and really from outside the industry, because it's great CPG experience.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for allowing me to be on your program today, and happy Veterans Day to all the veterans out there. We really appreciate what you guys do. And so thank you so much for all that you do, and thank you for our freedoms that we have here in the U.S. So getting to my background, it is a very fun story. I was in college, and I was working for Baird Securities and Northwestern Mutual, and I had got my 6 in 63, and I was going to get my 7. And I went to work for a company called Freestyle in California that was a surf watch brand at that time, and an outdoor brand. And what they did was they added color to a black watch when everything was Timex and Casio, and they became this huge entity in the outdoor area. So I started with them in college, and I was the trade marketing manager, and I went to events around the country at the surf contests in California and the AVP volleyball contests. And I put watches on the announcers when they were talking, and I put watches on surfers and pro athletes. And that's what I did. That's how I got in this industry. So I started at Freestyle, and then that also a component of Freestyle was Ski Tote, which was winter sports, and Stormcloth. Well, Stormcloth became huge. Stormcloth was kind of like Patagonia and Gore-Tex before they even really happened. If you remember Gore-Tex, you'd wear Gore-Tex and you'd get really sweaty. It was almost like putting on I want to say like being in a Ziploc bag. It was waterproof. It was breathable. But you didn't breathe. So we came up with a waterproof, breathable 4-way stretch material called Stormcloth that was designed for the winter sports industry. So it was designed for skiing, snowboarders, outdoor enthusiasts. And I wasn't really thinking about the hunting business at that time. But I went hunting, and I was in a tree stand, and it was, 0 degrees with the wind blowing. Yeah. So wind chill was like -20, -30. I've never been so cold in my entire life, and I wasn't prepared. So I go, God, Stormcloth would be great for hunting. So I met Tom Patterson from Realtree and Sammy Knight from Mossy Oak. And in those days, they didn't want a company that they either wanted one or the other. And the material was so unique that both companies took me on. And from there, it exploded. We did base layer clothing, we did gloves, we did hats, we did outerwear, jackets, pants in Mossy Oak and Realtree, went into Bass Pro, went into Cabela's, went into Sportsman's, went into Academy, got into distribution, all the distributors and the buy group customers that carried winter sport products, and it took off. So that's how I got into the hunting business. Fast forward a little bit, and then I went to work for a company in Salt Lake City called Chisco. And Chisco was in the safety eyeglass retainer business, and also did watch bands. So I had a little bit of a background with their customer base. Got Chisco into LensCrafters, Pearl Vision, Target Optical, Luxottica, which is Sunglass Hut, and took them to a whole nother level. We doubled the company in size in 2 years.
Wow.
So I was kind of this really interesting person that had this background, and Bushnell at that time, so we go forward a couple more years, had bought Bolle and Serengeti eyewear brands. So I had the contacts from the Chisco business, and I knew all the buyers and had all the relationships, not necessarily eyewear, goggle, or helmet experience, but I had the relationship. So they brought me in to manage the eyewear business, and my career grew over that time. And I also got to sell optics because I had such good relationships with my customers that they allowed me to use my relationships and sell optics in different channels. One of the funnier stories that happened, I don't know if you know Mark Leviton from Optics Planet. I don't know if you've ever met him, but I met him when he was with Lomo, and he hadn't even started Optics Planet. And he said, I'm going to start a company and I'm looking for vendors. I was his first vendor. So that's kind of crazy when you think of how big they've become.
Yeah.
But Bushnell was their first vendor. So for optics and for outdoor product. So ended up at Bushnell, had a great career there, was there 17 years, went through 3 private equity with Mid-Oceans, Windpoint, A&M Capital, and then Vista came in and bought us for cash, coming from ATK, and we got to work with some of the industry's best minds, some of the industry's best managers, both from 51 different brands. Got an incredible experience there. So I really have a really great consumer products background. And I got a call from a headhunter that there was this company, Meprolight, located in Middletown, Pennsylvania, which meant I had to move away from Park City and come here and live here. And that was okay. I met the senior management team. I met the CEO. I met the senior vice president of sales and marketing. I met their marketing guy. And I was just blown away. I was blown away with what I saw. I was blown away with the products, and I'm here. And so, I was in a great job. I had a great, with Vista, and I came here and to help build Meprolight. And that's how I got to where I am today.
Well, and it's really a very unique background that I think brings a lot of benefit to Meprolight, because there are so many parts of that you can use and go in different directions. I mean, just down to packaging, and it's endless. Product development. I know it's been a while ago that we first spoke, but I know you guys have been really busy with product development. And I'm sure with the current set of circumstances, because we're recording this on November 10th, so the day before Veterans Day, and happy birthday, Marine Corps. We were just talking before we started recording about how Meprolight, being Israeli owned and an Israeli company, about how that our current state of events has affected Meprolight.
Yes. And so we are working 24/7 to provide the IDF and the federal agencies in Israel and the law enforcement agencies in Israel with product. And it's very, very, very busy. I'm sure you've been watching the media, but there's Meprolight products everywhere. But I'll give you a little tiny bit of a history on Meprolight and a little bit of a background on Meprolight. In 1990, Meprolight started working with the Israeli Defense Forces. We developed product for, they needed a leveler. They needed to see levelers at night so they could shoot mortar rounds. And so that's how we got into the tritium business. So our company was founded in 1990. We then used tritium in tanks for reloading the tanks. If you could see the glow of the tritium, you needed to reload. Wow. We also used tritium to encircle the, where you plug the hoses into for midair refueling. So we did that, and then we started getting into the gun side of this of the business, and we manufactured sights for the Uzi and the M16, and then we got into what we do today. Was the M21 has been and still is part of what they use. The M5 or the Pro V2, which is our red dot, they use that over there also. The Mepro More, which is the laser and the combination fiber optic tritium sight. That's been all over the news. So we do lasers, we do night vision, we do thermal. That's not night vision and thermal aren't available in the U.S. market, but we do it in Israel. So we pretty much do everything. So my job is to take what we manufacture over there and bring it over here. I think the biggest thing The other product that we did that's new is the True Vision. We developed that for the Yamam, which is equivalent to the FBR HRT unit that it's the anti-terrorism unit. So that unit's obviously very busy. So we make products specifically for the armed forces in Israel. The other thing that's interesting is that in Israel, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but at age 18, as soon as you get out of high school, male and female go into the IDF. So one of the things that separates Meprolight from all the other brands, in my opinion, being in this industry, is our quality control. We are way beyond mil spec when it comes to waterproof, hot and cold temperatures, just in general, holding zero. Because our kids are in the military, our nieces, our nephews, our sons, our daughters, our friends, this is family. And if our optics fail, then we fail and we lose a life, and it's our own. So it's personal for us. And, we're known for our brightness, our quality. We have the best quality in the industry. We have less than a 2% defective ratio, and that includes open boxes at retail. So it's actually less than that. It's probably less than 1%. Wow. And that's unheard of in the shooting sports world. So if you want a really high quality product at a super great value, everything's manufactured in Israel. Israel is equivalent to German manufacturing or US manufacturing. It's very high quality. Meprolight is an incredible value and a great product. And that's why I came here.
Yeah, it is. And I know we bought some of those products from you, and they're amazing, really remarkable optics that certainly there's definitely room, I think, in almost anyone's product grouping that they have in their home or wherever else. I would be lucky to have those products because they are exceptional. You guys have been doing a lot of new product design and enhancement, I know, over the last year or two. So I don't want to give up any secrets. And I would be the wrong audience to do that on anyway, as you know.
Right.
But you do have some really exciting things coming at SHOT Show, which I think is really special because that's kind of what SHOT Show is known for.
Yes. So during COVID, we have kept our head down. We were really lucky during COVID because of the Israel manufacturing process. We were able to supply when the industry couldn't supply. So that really helped me. We got into 85% of the doors within a 2-year period. We started Mepro USA in 2019. That's when I joined. So getting back to that. So during COVID and we had 19 and 20 were like everybody else, just went through the roof, like triple-digit growth. And so when it started to slow down a little bit, we were already working on the next generation of products. We had put together a 5-year product roadmap. And what we decided to do was diversify our assortment and make it more, when you're working at retail, you got to add value. And so we diversified with the pistol sales and the new shooters that came into the industry. We already do tritium. So we decided to expand our pistol red dot sights, and we're coming out with 8 new products at SHOT Show that have been in development for the past 3 years, and we're finally launching these. And
that's great.
And it's going to be really incredible. We also right now we're getting the M22. The M21 has been an amazing product. It's fiber optic and tritium, runs with no batteries. The M22 is the Legend Reborn, and that's just coming out now, which will also be a big hit at SHOT Show. So we've got a lot of new product coming, and we're very, very excited and bullish on the future. I mean, we know we're all in tough times now with, Trump slump. The Trump slump was what we had as a reference back in 16 and 17, but this is a little bit more complicated. The market that we're in now with inflation and the war and everything that's going on around us. But it's going to bounce back. And I think the positive thing to look at for the industry is that all the new shooters, we have so many new shooters. Our market is growing from a there's more consumers in our marketplace than ever before, and it will rebound. And we think, when it's in times like these, you need to invest in the product, you need to invest in the brand, you need to invest in the marketing, and that's exactly what we're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's a good time. We certainly have seen over the last couple of weeks significant increase, and I can't imagine it won't continue that way because we've held on. Everybody's been in this holding pattern, or most of us. Some of the companies have, of course, been growing and acquiring, but I think that we're going to see a very successful 2024. We're already seeing people that have held off on hiring or held off and been doing product development like you guys, and it's time to launch those things and let's take it to market. So it's good to see Meprolight doing that. I know you have really been heads down, and it's a small group here in the US, isn't it?
Yes, it's a small group and we're growing, and
Yep.
we've retooled. We hired a senior product manager, Chip Glass, and he used to work with EOTech, and he's helping. So we're getting American design influence and Israel design influence, which is really good because it fits our market. And we hired Eric Suarez, our director of marketing, and he was with Remington. And so we're building our team every day. And we are currently looking to fill a position for a director of sales to add to this dynamic team. But, life is about timing.
Yep.
And I don't think there's ever been a better time to join a company like Meprolight because we got all this new product coming, and we got a lot of really good things happening in the US market. So
yes, and when we post this, and folks that are listening to this, you should, if you're interested in this director of marketing, I would urge you to reach out to Bill. You can find him on LinkedIn, and then we'll also post a link either to Meprolight's page or a career page if you guys have that, so that people can reach out, because this is a great company and it's great products. And I know that there are a lot of people that have reached out to us and want to know who's hiring, who are the up and comers, and Meprolight is a great company. Anyone that has an interest in sales, that has some experience, you'd be joining a class act team for sure.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, well, and it's good to have a leader that understands the CPG market. You can have a lot of great leaders, but someone who understands the packaging and getting the message out and the partnerships it takes, it's not just one dimensional.
No, and that's the thing. Everything we do is 360. We even go as far, this is just taking it to the extreme. When we put stuff at retail, we have QR codes with cheat sheets for both the retail staff and the consumer. So when you see a Meprolight product, you can take a picture with your phone and it actually sells it to you itself. It's a video of the product, how it works. So if somebody's busy behind the counter, which often happens, we take it just to that degree. It's everything we do is thought through really from the consumer standpoint all the way to the end. The goal is to increase sales and profitability for our accounts.
Yeah, that's really smart. And I don't think I knew that, Bill. That's really interesting. But of course, I seem to see you at every trade show I go to, and I know you go to a lot of other events too, but you're a very hands-on leader, and you're not just talking talk, you're walking the walk, and you're right there with your people. So it's not that you're limited by a high-level strategic vision, but you are there making sure these things are getting to the next step all along the way.
Yeah, I just think it's really important, not just listen to your employees, listen to your customer base, listen to the consumer. I mean, they'll tell you where you need to go. And, if you hear something 3 times in a row, it's probably a pretty good idea. So I am very plugged in, and I like to be, I like to be part of the team and roll up my sleeves and help any way I can. And, build future leaders that are going to rise in this industry. So.
Yeah, well, let's talk about this director of sales, because I think we have a following that I wouldn't be surprised if maybe some folks reached out to you. So when you're looking for a position like this, tell me about the kind of people you look for to join your team. What are the traits they have? What is the culture like that you have internally in your team? What could someone look to expect there?
Yeah, we are a smaller team, as you said. We're still building this brand in the States, and I think the opportunity is massive. That's why I came here. But I need entrepreneurial thinkers. I need leaders. I need people that can make decisions. I tend to hire really good people. I tend to let my managers manage. I'm involved in the day-to-day, so more involved than most. But I think that we need entrepreneurial thinking. We need everyone here has quite a bit of energy. I have quite a bit of energy, but it's about good work ethic. We do want someone in this, if we can find someone with an optical background, because we think it's important. We need someone with experience working with it's an all-encompassing position. So it's a really nice position in that you'll work with distribution, you'll work with national accounts, and then you'll work with the specialty dealers and buy groups. So you pretty much manage the entire US market, which is a really great opportunity. And it's an all-encompassing position, and we're looking for someone to fill that role. So when you talk about my team members, they're self-starters, and we all work really hard. We all wear a lot of hats. We're a team environment, and so it's a great place to work. Israel's been very supportive, and they've given us all the tools we need to be successful.
And is this a role that someone needs to be geographically there in Pennsylvania at your offices? Or is this a role that they could work remote and be traveling? Or how does that look to you guys?
This is definitely a role that's remote. I want the best person I can find. So I'm not going to require them to move to Harrisburg or Middletown, Pennsylvania. So, we can fly them in when we need them here. We have Zoom, we have Microsoft Teams. We don't need them here in the office. What we need is someone to help direct the sales force. We have 4 rep agencies. We have about 50 reps that work for us, and it's about giving them the tools they need to be successful and being a good leader and making sure we set goals and hold people accountable.
I love that it's so broad, because that certainly gives you a chance to mix it up. If one little niche area is not buying, you can move to another niche area. I love that you have that flexibility in this role. And, I think that as you grow, and you obviously you would add to your staff, but this is such a great role to step into, because you can make it your own and really use your niche focus while having that broad exposure.
Yeah. And you're in at the ground floor. So as we grow, it's a good opportunity.
Good. Well, I sure appreciate you being on our podcast, and I'm so excited we could talk about a role that you're hiring for, new products. Why wouldn't anybody want to get on board? This is awesome. So thank you very much, Bill, for being on the podcast. That's it for us today. We really appreciate the opportunity to learn more about Meprolight and support an outstanding Israeli-owned company and here in the U.S. Thank you, Bill.